Welcome to another Baka commentary video. In this video will be more of an update on the type of products, consumer focused products that you and I are gonna go on retail and buy computers for. The two old school brand, Intel and AMD, and the new kid on the block, Qualcomm. In this video, hopefully I can give you some very short explanation on all each three companies and what their product going to bring to the consumer computer industry. Intel, they are kind of the OG and the most well-known brand. They have, however, recently again launched the Core. They rebranded their whole lineup again as they have launched Core Series and the Core Ultra Series. For the Core Series, what they have done is basically taken their old i series, the i5s, i7s, i9s, Pentiums, Atoms, and Celerons, and they grouped it all into one category. Core 3, I think you should be pretty saying old i3, Core 5, old i5, Core 7, old Core i7, and Core 9 is literally rebranded i9. And if you were looking for Atom, Celeron, Pentium, yet under this new naming scheme, they don't exist anymore. They are now simply known as Intel Core Series. The new Intel, true new Intel silicon that with this rebranding is the Core Ultra. What does Core Ultra mean? This means artificial intelligence is enabled for these products, and these products uses an Intel MPU, which are special silicon designed for really specific thing. AI, that's how they like to advertise them, but they can do more than AI, as MPUs can go, when you're browsing the internet, you kind of like don't want to spin up the more power hungry, more less efficient efficient cores, and you can just basically leave stuff onto the MPU, or when you play a video and you just be like, hey, I don't have you don't want to turn on the on-board graphics. Guess what? The MPU takes over and, well, hopefully brings out better efficiency for your computer system. Which, again, however, unfortunately, a lot of apps do not know how to use MPU, and so if you bought Intel Core Ultra series CPUs, a lot of time your MPU is sat there unused, and there are only like a handful of applications that you really need that is really going to use the core MPUs. The Intel Core Ultra right now, as of 2024, and likely Core Intel 2025, is in the stage of concept, as there is basically, they're there to be like, they're there, but it's not really you must buy, which again, very much of, we give you the hardware, however, we are not going to give you the hard software and the technical support that is, or the technical support might be like very early and immature, and as a result, you buying a MPU Intel Core Ultra product in 2024 and 2025 might not be the best idea if you're going to pay extra over the standard Intel Core series. For the people that do push Intel Core series, even though in that same product lineup there is traditional Core series, those guys are likely an Intel shareholders, or they are a tech bro where their majority of their investment, a majority of their worth is pumped right within this AI bubble. As soon as these AI Intel shares start dropping, this AI bubble starts deflating and popping, those people, you bet their self value is dropping down the bin. And those people that are like, AI fucking will replace everything, your job is gonna be, those guys, they have their, invested interest. They are biased towards AI. And TLDR, Intel Core Series is non-AI core enabled, and if you want majority of time, if you can buy the Intel Core Series and the Intel Core Ultra Series, it's best for now to buy the Intel Core Series over the Intel Core Ultra Series. The only time you should be buying Intel Core Ultras if that product lineup only has Intel Core Ultras. And basically, yeah. For the people that are AI, for some reason you are okay with making your own software and making your own support infrastructure, I guess the Intel Core Ultra series do make sense. But Intel Core Ultra branding is what you're going to be looking for, which then leads perfectly into the next company in this industry and in this market, the AMD. They have their product lineup simple, easy to understand. R3, R5, R7, R9. Majority of their CPUs do not have AI. However, AMD does have also uniqueness of 3D cache, extra cache on top of the CPU for, well, more performance for our games and application that needs extra cache. And a lot of time, AMD X3D has proven to be a very, very potent tool in this industry to be like, yeah, you should probably buy an X3D chip if you do certain things like gaming or you work with a lot of CPU stuff that is like consumer stuff that somehow like Excel spreadsheet or Microsoft Word you look at in large document. I think X3D Vcache is very, very useful. And as for AMD's AI product, they call it the Ryzen AI. The way AMD has implemented it is likely, again, little, in my opinion, is better than Intel. As one, the AI silicon is not losing the product performance, and AMD doesn't seem to be like, here's an extra cost as a result of enabling this Ryzen AI, or the cost of not having AI in those silicon kind of don't really make sense. And yeah, and for the Ryzen AI, it seems to be for how early AI is as a product. It seems AMD seems to have implemented it pretty well. And as well as I said in the intro, AMD seem to know where to put their AI and all these NPU nonsense is rather the laptops where efficiency is very, very much a on top of the list, and their desktop lineup, majority of their silicon is not Ryzen AI enabled as well. AMD does have other products like AMD's RX 7000 GPU that have native on silicon AI that is way more powerful than any integrated NPU will ever provide for the year 2024 and year 2025. Those, they don't have any Ryzen AI, and there are only one very, very specific niche silicon where those desktops are only not able to, or they don't designed to have a discrete graphics card, and that's where the Ryzen AI G series, I think, the Ryzen G series, the latest gen G series, where they have enabled Ryzen AI to be like, okay, we are going to use this Ryzen AI to try and help you in scenarios where the discrete graphics card would be useful, and this Ryzen AI MPU segment is there to try and mitigate some of the performance issue where some CPUs are like, okay, I can't do this on my CPU, but I need a graphics card with a bit of acceleration to help the Ryzen AI desktop G series seems to be pretty good on the 7000 series only for now. Anything older than 7000 series Gs, they don't have Ryzen AI on them. And again, AMD, they know what they're doing with Ryzen AI, in my opinion, a lot more, at least more competent than the competition. And yeah, basically, yeah, TLDR, if you need Ryzen, if you need AI, you'd go get a Ryzen AI enabled product. If you don't, majority of the AMD product Ryzen lineup is for you. Qualcomm, the new company in the consumer space. Basically, Qualcomm has finally ground up redesigned their product for laptop and maybe desktop use, and they call it the Snapdragon X series. The higher end of this SKU is called the Elite series, and then the lower SKU is called the Plus. They have Qualcomm been doing laptop / desktop chips for the consumer space? Yes. However, they were not very successful, and a lot of time their products end of life with no fanfare, launch with no fanfare, and this is the first time in a long time where basically Qualcomm's like, okay, we're gonna finally properly design a laptop performance focused silicon instead of just taking their mobile, their mobile phone SoC and just overclocking them to the absolute limit and just putting them on low end laptops and desktops. But yeah, so X series is their true first gen ground up design that is for laptop and desktop use. The only difference with the Elite and the X series, they all have AI enabled, so you're not going to be running away, be like, oh, which product SKU doesn't have AI? Or the Elite and the X and the Plus will have AI. The only difference, the Elite will have 2 extra ultra high performance core, which is very useful for the time for people. For a lot of people, it will be very, very useful for the premium laptop industry where they want really snappy cores, and from a lot of the people that have used it, the 2 extra ultra high performance core is very useful. the Plus doesn't get the 2 Ultra performance core, still gets the 10, standard performance core, no hyper thing. It seems fine for what Qualcomm designed the chip for, where it's basic entry level netbook, premium netbook ish territory. I think these are great devices in 2024. Yes, accounting for it or the extra cost to build a laptop. I think it could bring back the netbook ecosystem, both on the budget and premium end, and the hopefully this really gives, since a lot of people a lot of time, all they really need is a netbook where an AI basically enables them to do a little bit more than just a netbook when the netbook situation. But yeah, this is also great for people who's like, I want to use, this new upcoming ARM cores, and I don't want to go out and buy an Apple, or I don't want to use a Mac. And for the hardcore Windows user who's like, I want to use ARM, but there is your answer. Qualcomm Snapdragon X series is the CPU to buy if you are, I want to try use ARM and I want to use Windows. Anyway, guys, and brings to the end of another Baka commentary video. If you do like these videos, do press the like and subscribe to share the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.